editing Brandy here. So I don't know what happened, but I ended up losing the first part of the footage there. When you're making your pinto beans, or any beans really, you want to go through them and pick out any small rocks or debris that you might find, any beans that just don't look right. And then you want to wash them very, very well before you soak them in your pot. I think the video will pick up from there. But I was just telling you guys the reason that I decided to make that today was because I was just missing my family. But anywho, that's it. Now we will get on with the good part. Thank you guys for humoring me. I will see y'all in a little bit. Bye, y'all. All right, you guys. So we have our beans, our pinto beans that have been soaking for the last, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 hours. I've just had them on the stove. There's no seasoning in the water at all. But now we get to do the fun part. So we're going to add to this, these are smoked pork hocks, and they flavor, oh, they're so good. And I'm going to be using 3, but it gives it that beautiful, just smoky, oh my gosh, flavor that really, really tastes amazing. To that, we're going to add 1 onion. Just, you know, chopped, sliced, whatever, diced, however you want to get that sucker in there. Some more. And I am going to add, oops, hang on a second. Alright, sorry about that. So to that, I'm going to add some garlic paste. This is the Spice World brand. I'm such a garlic lover, y'all. That's probably about a good teaspoon of the minced garlic, because I'm also going to be adding some what do you call it, garlic powder also to it. Here I have some smoked paprika, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of that. I have some of our Lowry seasoned salt. This is 25% less sodium here, and I'm a dump and go cook, so I'm probably, there we go, maybe a ½ teaspoon of that in there. Then we're going to come over here and we are going to take a tablespoon of our bouillon powder and add it to our mix there. I like the beef bouillon. You could use chicken, you could use veggie in here. You could leave out the hocks, and this would be a really great vegetarian dish. But I kind of like it like that. And we're going to start off with those seasonings and 2 bay leaves. And, you know, there's a story behind this recipe. Not this whole recipe, but pinto beans in general. Let me go ahead and see if I can get the fire started, and I'll tell you about it. My grandfather, my Papa, hey Papa, Sheba smells this already, you guys. He grew up on a coal mine camp in West Virginia, and he was raised by his mother, my Grandma Ada, and his grandmother, my great-great-grandma Matilda. And, you know, they didn't have a lot. My Grandma Ada had 4 children. My Papa's father was unfortunately killed in a car accident, you guys. And, you know, especially I can imagine a single mother with 4 children back then, you know. But it was hard. And so Grandma Matilda, you know, she helped raise them. And they viewed her as a mother. And my mom, you know, I don't really remember Grandma Matilda a lot, but my mother always says that she had a big pot of pinto beans and fried potatoes on the table. Her pinto bean recipe were, of course, the pinto beans. She may or may not have put ham hocks in there, depending on what they had. She did onion, she did garlic, and as far as my mother knows, that was about it. Now, I did make this recipe a little more judgier as far as my herbs and stuff go. But, you know, the thought is still there. And it's still nostalgic for me. Now, tonight, we're going to have some country-style ribs to go along with these pinto beans here, and some hot water cornbread. I will bring those to you here in a second, but I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the pinto bean recipe and why it is kind of a nostalgic thing for me, even though it's not exact. You know, it's I guess the whole dish that kind of counts. And you know, I don't remember what hers would taste like anyway, but I do know what my mom's tasted like. So I have the fire on high. We're going to slap a lid on that bad boy, and when we come back, they'll be ready. See you guys in a little while. I'm going to bring them to a boil, and then I'm going to lower it to a simmer, and I'm probably going to let it simmer for about an hour and 20 minutes maybe, and then we'll check them and see how they are. So, alrighty, I'll talk to y'all guys later. Okay, y'all, so I've been showing you elements of tonight's dinner as I make it. My oven is broken, so we're going to do hot water cornbread, and I have a very easy recipe. There's no milk, there's no eggs. It's pretty cool. I like it generally. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Because I'm kind of in a hurry. And for this, you're going to need yellow cornmeal, self-rising flour. The recipe will be in the description box like it always is. But self-rising flour, some sugar, some butter, some honey if you prefer, and some salt. I've already got a half a teaspoon of salt in my bowl. You guys can see that. And to that, I'm going to add my half cup of self-rising flour. And I chose to use self-rising flour because I didn't want to mess with the baking powder. But I mean, you know, they also have the self-rising cornmeal also, if you'd like to use that. But I just got the regular so I could use it for fish fries and, you know, things like that. So we have our half cup of flour, our half teaspoon of salt. That's our whole cup of yellow cornmeal. And then this is the part I'm going to show you right here that's optional. I've been cooking up a storm all day, you guys. I tell you, from scratch cooking, you're going to make a mess, I promise, even if you do dishes as you go, which I do. Alrighty, and then I add, and remember I said the word optional, but I add 3 tablespoons of sugar to mine. 1, 2, and 3, because I like mine sweet. If you don't, please feel free not to add it. Also, you're going to need boiling water. And I'm iffy on giving you guys the measurements for the water because it always depends, right? Like I can't even give you a starting point. It depends on the texture. So you'll see what I do. I just kind of ladle a little bit at a time and stir, you know, ladle and stir until it gets the right consistency, like kind of Play-Doh-y. So anyway, I put honey into my boiling water. That's my secret. And you would think with sugar you don't need honey, but it adds a different flavor to it. So also, because I just like a little bit of greenery, you don't have to, but I add a little bit of dried parsley because A, I like parsley, B, it's good for body odors and bad breath, and it's not going to hurt to add it, so why not? And also to that, you're going to want to add 2 tablespoons of butter, real butter. You can use salted or unsalted. You know, there is salt in, the half teaspoon of salt is in here already. So that's completely up to you. But yeah, so I have my boiling water over here. I'm actually going to bring it over here to the counter. Oh goodness. And when I tell you it's boiling, baby, it is boiling. I'm not even kidding you. Alright. I do not want you guys to see me go to the emergency room on camera. So I'm going to try to be real careful because I am so accident prone, y'all. Like, it's crazy. Also, you're going to need some cool water to kind of, oh goodness, let me see. To kind of be able to pat them out to fry. So we are going to start And remember, guys, I told you I have honey here in my water, so it's going to be a golden color. And that's because, I mean, I used to put the butter in my water too, but because you can't really measure how much you're getting, I found it better to put the butter in here because I don't want to waste it. So we're going to start off with one ladle and a little bit of another one. We're going to mix that and see how that works. And you don't have to melt your butter because this hot water is doing that for us. So that's a lazy step. And normally when you find recipes for cornbread, it's going to have eggs in it. And there isn't a particular reason why I didn't use eggs in my recipe or buttermilk or milk or anything like that, other than the fact that I'm working on a budget, y'all. And I do have those things, but I don't want to, this isn't a meal that I want to use it on. So I'm not going to. I've got some other recipes I need that for. So as you can see, you just work that water in and you get kind of this texture, and we want it, let me see, you don't want any dry cornbread left, and you do want it the consistency of Play-Doh. I hear my husband sneaking around back there. He's been sneaky all day. Sneaks. So, yeah, you guys might be blessed with his presence here in a minute. Anyway, yeah. So, this kind of looks good to me, y'all. Let me see. Let me test it and see. Oh, yeah. That's good. If you are somebody that likes to add additions to this, you could add whole kernel corn from a can. You could add bacon, little bacon crumbles. Just make sure it's fully cooked. You could add cheddar cheese or any kind of cheese to this. You could add jalapenos or a different kind of chili if you like that kind. It's extremely versatile. But yeah, so that looks perfect. I'm actually proud of myself for that one on the first try. Alrighty, so I better not speak too soon. Oh my gosh, I can make something a million times, and as soon as I turn this camera on, it's not having it. Alright, so I am going to get my pan ready, and then I will show you guys how we fry this up. I will be right back with you. Alright, y'all, here we are. Hopefully my camera's not going to fog up, but we'll see. Oh, I really got to get a better cooking setup, but you work with what you got. Alright, I have one in the pan already, as you guys can see. Oh, please, please, please cooperate. And what I do, because I don't like mine really, really big, you have to control your temperature. That one's browning kind of fast. I take about a golf ball size, you see here, and I shape it. You pat it down and shape it into your oval as big as you want them. Like I said, I prefer them to be a little smaller. Is that, goodness, come on, there we go. And then you just sit it in your hot oil. My cornbread mixture has actually cooled a lot, so it's not hot. But if yours gets too hot, by all means, you can get some water. There we go. We're going to flip it. Oh yeah, my pan was too high. That one may not be done on the inside, you guys. So yeah, you want to control your heat. And I just turned mine down. Patience is a virtue. Anyway, the hot water cornbread, they've called it Johnny cakes, hoe cakes. Back in the Civil War times, they actually used to cook them over the campfire, and they would use a hoe. That's still part of the hoe. To do that with. So that's kind of where we get these from. But, I don't know about you guys, but my favorite part of any cornbread is always the outside crispy and the bottom crust of it. So these are perfect for me. They're soft inside and crispy all the way around. So, yeah, really, really good. And they will be moist on the inside. I'm going to fry these up, and I will come back and show you guys how I like to serve them. Alrighty, you guys, and there we have it. We have our pinto beans. I put some parsley and pepper, fresh ground black pepper, and some smoky salt. You can see our smoked pork hocks in there. My mouth is watering, so I can't talk. But it smells so good in the house. And, you know, even though the recipe does differ from my great-great-grandma's, it's the idea of it. And, you know, it's okay to add a little bit of ourselves, right? This is a little bit spicy from the jalapeno. This is my hot water cornbread with my big, huge pat of butter there. My goodness. We're about to try this, and I will let you guys know. This was one of my mistakes, but again, this is how I like it. So hang on a second, guys, and we are going to try this. And I can't wait. Okay, y'all, no judging. I have been cooking all day, literally all day. Good Southern food from scratch is amazing, right? It's amazing. But you're going to spend some time doing it, you know. But anything that is worth anything takes time, so. All right, we are going, oh my gosh. And I'm not gonna have any of the pork ribs tonight. You know, I'm not feeling that great. I don't know if solid meat would actually sit well on my stomach, but these beans, oh gosh. And I might get me some of those turnip greens too, y'all. We'll have to see. Anyway, here goes nothing. Ooh, they're hot. You see that? Yeah, that's good. Hang on. Pardon my chewing. That's it. That is so good. That is so good. I love beans. Any kind of beans for protein. You know, protein and fiber, and oh my gosh, they're amazing. That garlic in there. A garlic to me makes everything. And then, you know, the smoky salt that I finished it with, if you guys haven't tried that, oh, you really need to. You can find it at Walmart. As a matter of fact, if I can find a link, I'll link it down below, because I'm telling you, it is a game changer. Smoky salt. And the flavor from the pork hocks, the smoky flavor, you know, from the salt, I mean, it's so good. It's like amalgamation, that's a 10-cent word, of just goodness, good things, you know. Those mountain people, my people, they were on to something. Shiva knows. You know, it's weird. They're creamy. The texture of the beans are perfect. You know, I cooked them. You saw, I soaked them and everything. Excuse me. And I cooked them for, oh my gosh, probably an hour and a half on the stove in my stock pot. You could cut that time down. You could cut the whole process down by washing them like I showed you, and then putting them in the Instant Pot probably for about 45 minutes, maybe. I've made them in the Instant Pot before, and they were good, but I don't remember what my time was on there. It's all the same ingredients and everything. It's basically the same process, but you don't have to soak them when you do them in the Instant Pot. We have our, oh my gosh, oh, that was a lot of butter. We have our cornbread here, and on the inside it is kind of creamy and moist in there, and the outside's going to be crunchy. You guys watch this. Oh man, sorry. Oh my gosh. The sweetness from the sugar is amazing. The outside texture is that cornmeal. Kind of gritty, but not. It's buttery, it's sweet. Remember, you don't have to add sugar if you don't like it sweeter. The honey is so good in there. I love the charred outside of it. You don't have to do that. But, oh, that is so good. I mean, it's buttery, it's sweet, the inside is moist. It's almost like custard. Now I know, please don't get on to me, y'all. You have to cook for you and your family the way that you like it, right? I like my cornbread when I fry it, my hot water cornbread. I like it to be kind of dense inside. I don't really want it fluffy. I do when I bake it, but when I fry it, it's kind of that dense, moist interior that I'm looking for. And so in the pan, when it's rising, which is what you use the self-rising flour for, right? I pat it down. And that's what gives me the texture that I'm looking for. So, like I said, everybody's tastes are different. You have to cook for you. But I definitely have to say, all that time and effort was so worth it. Whew. Sorry about that, y'all. I was so intent on eating this food that I dropped my phone. Thank goodness it was on the carpet. Oh, I almost had a mini clutcher there. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, those mountain people, they know exactly what it is that they were doing. And so I'm so glad that I got this recipe passed down to me. I told you guys earlier, I'm just feeling nostalgic today. I miss my Mimi. I miss my Peppa. I haven't actually been able to spend that much time with my family, and I miss them. I miss my sister. Sherry, I miss you. So, anyway, the best way, one of the best ways that I found is if you can't be with your loved ones, food and family recipes, they're a really good way to feel like they're closer, And then the memories and the feelings that you get from the smells in the kitchen, and you can't beat it. That's priceless. Absolutely priceless. And you get that from a 99-cent bag of beans, and some cornmeal. So, oh, if I had a fresh tomato right now, that would be amazing. But yeah, you guys, I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very, very much. And I don't know if I'm going to post these together, the pinto beans and the hot water cornbread recipe, or if I'm going to do it separately. We'll see. We'll have to see how long it is. But either way, I really appreciate you guys joining me. And I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful day. And cook something up that reminds you of somebody that you love. It could only make things better. Talk to you guys later.